But by opening the door for his profession, Hill had closed the door on his own career.
I was at the peak, but in a strange kind of way, I fell off two pinnacles at once, if you like. I couldn't play on because my knee had got badly damaged in the last season with Fulham, and I'd already stated that I believed that the chairman of the PFA should be a current player. So having imposed that principle on the PFA, all I had to do was to abide by it. I've got to earn a living, and I was offered the Coventry job at that time.
We played against Kings Lynn, who were then bottom of the Southern League. They gave us a goal to start with. Kings Lynn gave us a goal, and we still lost 2-1. And I remember one of my directors came in at half-time and said, well, if Jimmy takes it now, he must be balmy. I said, well, if Jimmy doesn't take it now, now is the chance. We can't get lower.
I like to be wanted, you know, and take great pleasure in you saying, can you come and help me? I've got a problem with this. I love that.
Shortly after Jimmy came, I went into his office one day and I said, Jim, I can let you have 40,000 quid. We can go and buy a football team.
What a surprise. Oh, when I came to Coventry, I couldn't believe, it's the first time I'd ever been to Coventry, couldn't believe the pitch. You needed one leg 2 foot longer than the other. Right on the slope, and I thought, Jimmy, have you done me here? I believed everything you've told me. You haven't done me, I hope. And everything he told me when he was signing me came true. We were going to be successful. He had these wonderful ideas that people call gimmicks, but they weren't. New training methods. He was a coach out of this world. He was a dream. Worked on weaknesses with a great deal of emotion in his work.
Tackle him! Ian, you're asleep! Good shot, well done. 5 goals and a corner. Come on, Reg, you just stood there dithering.
On one occasion, he didn't think we were hard enough. And so we picked a team, we changed the teams around, and Jimmy gets stuck in. So the next 2 minutes, he just collided with me, and they carried him off on a stretcher. And I looked at him and I said, well, you said we've got to be hard, JH.
That was about right before, John. Get something to it, Bob. Don't just let the ball go by.
And we always used to do a mimic of him when he was eating, and like the chin was going like that at the same time. And it was disrespectful, but he was our gaffer. He was our manager, the bearded wonder.
He's got such a hell of a brain. He bubbles the whole time. Well, that was half the trouble we had with Jimmy, because he had so many ideas, and some of them were quite crazy. We had to try and damp those down a little bit. Our board meetings were tremendous fun. The whole thing was bubbling. The whole thing bubbled, and I get what created the atmosphere throughout the whole team.
And today we've got a phone call from Millwall, who are also interested in starting the first London pool.
Don't we want to reserve London for ourselves? Well, that concludes the business of the meeting, gentlemen. And now, yes, time, bars open.
Hill reinvented Coventry City, opened the club out to its fans, introducing competitions, parties, restaurants, bringing to football a commercial energy years ahead of its time.
So far, Bob Hatton got a ball in the air against Curtis. Then very few players do. Because Reese. Goal, yes. What a great goal.
We used to have 28, 30,000. They're in the Premier League now, and they're still looking to pull in 19, 20,000. Coventry was a very busy town at that time with the car factories and everything else, and he realised that. And the people in the factories are always pleased when Coventry City won on a Saturday, because the production went up on a Monday morning.
To forget the boredom and fatigue of the assembly line, there's always football. And when Coventry City play away from home, the club run the Sky Blue Special, a weekend excursion away from the factory, complete with music and dancing, beer and bingo. It's an escape route and a good way to keep busy waiting for the Saturday game.
Everywhere you go in the shops, everything's sky blue. See, it's only since Jimmy Hill came here, though. Before that, it was just nobody ever bothered.
We had the courage to go ahead and do it. You know, do something different. Don't just sit there, because it's a long while to wait from 3 o'clock one Saturday to 3 o'clock the next. There's a lot of time to do things.
7 Sky Blue Rovers and the smart and successful Sky Blue footballers of Coventry City. They're now pressing for promotion from the second division with gates and facilities that many a first division club would envy. At the hub of it all is Jimmy Hill, the bearded Coventry manager, the man with a modern approach.
This year we wanted an idea to make money in Europe. So we approached the Rover Car Company and said, well, look, you take us there and we'll help you sell your cars.
Well, Jimmy, the very best of luck, both with your football results and your export figures.
Well, thank you very much, Frank, and if we get promotion on the way, we will really sell some cars in Europe. So cheerio!
But it's still Coventry pressing away at this Manchester United goal. Now here comes Sillett. Sillett to the outside right, Humphreys. And the goal! What excitement!
On the field, success came in a blur. In 1963, still a third division side, Coventry reached the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, losing only to Manchester United. Next season came promotion to Division 2. Crowds rose to 25,000. By April 67, the club was pushing for promotion to the top division, a height it had never attained in its 77 years.
Where's Gibbo, lads? Where's Gibbo?
Seems his tickets, I think.
When are we going to learn that we're not a ticket agency here and that we come here to play a game of football and to win it? Every week there's somebody fiddling around when they should be doing the job of work. Every week. You must want to get me upset before the match or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Machin going to take the corner. Linswinger, you'll notice. Oh, it's a no on the line of goal! And Gould has scored. And the whistle goes. Coventry City have won 1-0, and this victory, I would say, takes them into the first division.
Just one day, a boardroom discussion, we said, why don't we have a club song? We haven't got a song. And at the end of 2 hours, we had an empty bottle of gin, and we had Let's All Sing Together, Play Up Sky Blues, While You Sing Together, You'll Never Lose. And I love the fact that they still sing it on the terraces now, in the Premiership.
It was 6 years of tremendous excitement and fun, and Jimmy, I found, was the best manager I've ever known or ever likely to know.
Coventry were promoted as champions in 1967. They've been in the top division ever since.
Well done, Jimmy Hill. Well done, Coventry City.
Well, Jimmy, you've shaken Coventry pretty rigid today by this decision. Now, why are you leaving Coventry, and what are you going to do?
Well, why? I'm leaving Coventry because I've decided to give up football management.
All I was asking for was a 10-year contract. And Derek Robbins, the chairman, not for any unpleasant reasons, but had seen 2 10-year contracts in football not work.
I think my own personal feeling is that he had already, through Beckland Harvey, with whom he was very close and a partner in Berlin, had already arranged a contract with ITV.
To this day, he still believes that I had another offer waiting, couldn't wait to get out. That's not true, didn't. I didn't meet Michael Peacock, the managing director of London Weekend Television, until 3 weeks after I had publicly announced that I was leaving Coventry.
I think that he was terribly intelligent to go into the media and to finish with management. He knew he did very well. He changed the stadium, and he had a good football team. Reasonably successful too, and but he knew when to get out of it. I think it's a business that is devastating. Actually, I've found out that even when you're successful, you know, you can't succeed all the time.
This man we looked up to and we respected so much, and I could get very emotional about the situation because I know what he's achieved for Bobby Gould. And that goes back a long, long way.
What I'd like to thank him for is for what he done for Coventry City and for the city of Coventry, and what he did for myself and George Curtis when we won the Cup. There was so much of Jimmy Hill attached to Coventry City in '87 through two of his disciples, John Surrett, George Curtis.